If you learn to doubt your doubts, you won't be a doubter no more because your doubts have been doubted because you've learned to doubt your doubts.
What is a doubt?
It's a contradiction of the reality made by yourself. The confidence is in turn not really about you. It is about the people that you're communicating your ideals to.
You are doubting yourself.
Exactly. A mentalist is someone who understands people's behavioral patterns and knows how to use it, okay, to their advantage. So there are 3 doors open, right? So there are 1, 2, and 3. And so based on my suggestions to you, I close door 1 and then I close door 3. What is the option left?
Door 2. My elevators. Welcome to Empower Elevate podcast, the podcast that you need to dominate 2026. Today's very, very special episode is me. I'm ready for this episode. I'm here to learn. I have my pen. I hope you have your pen too to take some notes because I believe this episode is going to be very transformational, right? I have a very special guest here. This guy, I had a very brief encounter with him over the course of last week. And we had to schedule this podcast because I was like, you need to come on my podcast. My subscribers need to benefit, right? So as you've gotten this far, you've seen the intro, you know what we're going to do. Just take a second, like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. That is how we grow as a podcast. That's how we grow as a channel. So without further ado, let me welcome my special guest, Mr. Prince.
Hello, brother.
It's
good to be here.
Very much welcome.
Yeah, and thank you for having me here, brother.
Yes, thank you for blessing my guest episode season 2.
Right.
I know with your set of skills, if somebody from my podcast wanted you, would have been some mad consultation fee. So this is some pro bono you're giving from our people, and I appreciate you so much.
Right.
I really want you to introduce yourself to my people. Tell them your name, your area expertise, and what they should expect from you today.
Okay, so my name is Prince Safo. I am a public speaker, award-winning public speaker, and I delve into AI and tech. I delve into emotional intelligence, body language reading, and also a little bit of, mentalist traits as well. I do consulting, I run a tech firm and travel agency as well. And so, yes, this is a little about me. What I do most of the time is helping people identify their superpower and what is unique about them and helping them become better versions of themselves based on that.
I like that. Something interesting you said.
Yes.
You help people discover their superpower.
Yes.
So I see everybody has a superpower?
Yes, everyone has got a superpower.
So take me to that. What is a superpower and how do you help people find a superpower?
Okay, great. Beautiful question. So knowing your superpower is this. That particular unique thing about you that isn't common in your most immediate vicinity or environment. And so for some people, most of the time I like to split it in separate parts, the intelligence bit and then also the talents and gifts bit. Mm-hmm. And so if you're looking at the intelligence bit, you have people with existential intelligence, you have people with mathematical intelligence, you have people with bodily kinesthetic intelligence, and you have people with mathematical or logical intelligence. I mean, it goes on and on. There are about 9. People also argue there are 13. And so, yes, you would have to know the kind of intelligence that you have. You also need to know your personality archetype, okay? So in this case, are you an INFJ? Are you an ASP, a JSP? You need to know the kind of personality that you are. And then also you need to understand your temperaments. I think for temperaments, most people know that, the choleric, the sanguine, the melancholy, and phlegmatic. But then, apart from the 4 main, there are 12 blends. Okay, so you can be a sun and then a claw, which is sanguine, and then a choleric. That means you are super extroverted. And then some people can also be super introverted, which is the 2 other introverted bits, which is the melancholy and then the phlegmatic. And so that is the personality bit as well. And then you move on to the traits. And so when it comes to the traits, you might identify certain people as narcissists. You might identify people as manipulated or empaths and sympaths. All these things aren't very good traits for a person to have. But then some people also, have those traits as well. And so I will break it in those separate parts. But then most of the time, I like to specify on the intelligence bit. So let me break that down.
Right.
If you have mathematical intelligence, it means that numbers and things that have to do with patterns come to you very easy.
Right.
Okay, so you're good at math, you're good with numbers, and you understand complex situations, and you can break it down, even to the lamest person to understand. And so such people have got mathematical intelligence and logical intelligence. And then you move on to linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence individuals, for them, things that have to do with words come to them very easy. Okay, and so they are good with words. They know how to play around words to convince you or to confuse you, right? Basically, it depends on the situation, but then they do that purposefully to get you in that particular state. And for such individuals, some of the times their negative traits can be being, manipulative or, lying and things like that. But then they go undetected, sadly, because they have linguistic intelligence. Such individuals can also be good public speakers. They can be good with anything that has to do with words, right? So journalism, acting, public speaking, writing as well, poetry, anything that has to do with words,
rappers.
Basically. Exactly, rappers.
They'll be rapping the girls and all that.
Exactly. And then there are people with musical intelligence.
Right.
Those that have musical intelligence are actually, one of my favorites bit because they are used to patterns, they know rhythm, they know melody, and they sink in with those things very, very easily.
You mentioned the other time that you believe Ghanaians have very strong music intelligence.
Yes. One thing I know, our history says so. Okay, music is woven in the core fabric, okay, of our culture in Ghana. Okay, and so you won't go to any tribe or any ethnic group in Ghana without finding music as one of the core things that they uphold. You get it, and so you go to Ashanti region, you go to Greater Accra, you go everywhere. In fact, Greater Accra especially.
you have music all over the place.
Exactly. So I don't know if you remember last time in our conversation, I said if you want to have first-hand experience with a Ghanaian, or you want to convince a Ghanaian to hop onto something, this is what you need to do.
You see them tapping their feet. Let me say something a friend of mine told me.
Right.
He was like, if you look at the kind of music for the last 10 years and the current 10 years, you realize one very specific different thing. About 10 years ago, you have songs like Muje Baya and Dance Like a Butterfly and all that because the economy was good.
Yes.
But right now, you have Cuckoo Smoke telling us how we are brains. So it's a good economic indicator.
Interesting.
This is a very interesting finding. I was like, that's actually quite true.
Yeah.
Well, I love that, right? So let's say you are good with numbers, you're good with music, you're good with that. You analyze somebody like this, the person comes to you, or somebody's watching from home and realize that, this guy is talking about me. I'm very good with numbers. Yes. How is that a superpower? What can I use with that kind of information to elevate me?
Okay. I don't have enough time to go through all the types of intelligence, but then the most common in Ghana will be the musical intelligence, the logical and mathematical intelligence, the bodily kinesthetic intelligence, especially bodily kinesthetic intelligence, because there are lots of dancers, a lot of actors, and creatives from our African, region. And so someone with bodily kinesthetic intelligence is actually someone who can easily use their body to achieve a goal. And they can use their body so intelligently, it's almost flawless. And so you're mentioning Endurance Grant, you're mentioning Afronita, you're mentioning Ronaldo, Messi, especially Ronaldo and Messi. I mentioned them in like almost all of my sessions.
Yeah.
And other, people, key players in that regard. And so you're looking at actors, you have names you can mention. For dancers, names that you can mention. And so when you're looking at that, especially in our creative space, people who are into comedy and things like that, sometimes they also act certain ways to also make you laugh.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're talking models and things like that. And so the easiest way to find your purpose is understanding the type of intelligence that you have, your temperament, and also your personality trait. When you find these three things, most of the time your purpose is woven inside them.
Wonderful.
Exactly.
Wonderful. So there's nobody that is purposeless. There's nobody that is here for.
Nobody's purposeless. Yes.
What is one of these success stories that you have from your coaching sessions or your that somebody came and you just pointed out one or two things? Yes. I want one of those stories.
Okay, so it has not been somebody; it has been everybody.
Wow.
Okay, except I'm on a panel at an event. Okay. But then if I'm doing a one-on-one session, so most of the time I have personal, intimate sessions that I do with, my attendees, and so most of the time I keep the number below 10. Okay, so that the smaller the number, the more intimate and open people are. And so in this case, everybody who attends that session, most of the time they come with cases of they having low self-esteem or not having confidence in communicating what exactly they want, whether in their personal lives or in a professional setting. And so in those cases, I help them identify certain things about them that is unique that they can tap into. And so I call it tapping into your superpower or identifying your superpower, as I mentioned earlier. So I help them define what their superpower is and identify what it is, and then how they can use it to their advantage. And so if you're someone who is linguistic, or you're someone who is logical, or you're someone who is more emotionally tuned, then you can tap into that and use that for your advantage in case you want to be a great public speaker or just get great at what you do. Exactly.
Right, I love that.
Yeah.
But how important is confidence in your sessions? Because it's like the second time I've heard you mention confidence.
Yes.
How important is confidence to success?
Right. So, as it were, confidence is a non-negotiable. Okay. If you're not confident and you communicate your ideals, people tend to doubt, are you really sure what you're saying? And I think I'm going to be making reference to that, in the course of this session. When you're not confident about something, people really don't accept your ideals.
Even though what you're saying might be 100%
Exactly, might be
right.
100% right, or you're super, super convinced and you know that this is a proven thing that you've been doing. But then if you're not confident about it, you tend not to get the results that... So the confidence is, in turn, not really about you, okay? It is about the people that you're communicating your ideals to. Exactly.
What would you say are traits or attitudes to be a successful youth or a successful person in the next 10 years? What are some of the things that you need? Because from your space, if I ask somebody, or somebody might say XYZ, but I want to know from your space as a mentalist, as a somebody that can read people, which we'll get into that very shortly. From your experience and from what you're projecting for the next 10 years, what are some of the attitudes that any person listening should and must pick up or research into that can make them extremely successful in the next 10 years?
Okay, so I mentioned confidence earlier, and this one, you see I'm low-toned because I really want this to sink into the viewer. First off, you need to learn to doubt your doubts. Okay? You need to learn to doubt your doubts.
Let me write it down. Right. Doubt your doubts.
You need to learn to doubt your doubts. And so in this case, doubting your doubts means that you have something and then you doubt that doubt. It cancels out the doubt. And so it inspires confidence.
So doubting your doubts inspires confidence.
Exactly. So there's an old adage, very, very known in Asia and the first world countries. It goes like this. If you learn to doubt your doubt, you won't be a doubter no more because your doubts have been doubted because you've learned to doubt your doubts.
This is your camera. I want you to look at that camera. Look in their eyes and tell them that.
Right.
I love that so much.
Right. Thank you. If you learn to doubt your doubts, you won't be a doubter no more because your doubts have been doubted because you've learned to doubt your doubts. Exactly.
Your doubts have been doubted because you've learned
to doubt your doubts.
I love that.
The key word is learning to doubt your doubts. So it is a process. You don't just one time wake up and say, you're doubting your doubts. And learning to doubt your doubts also carries one key thing: standing on the shoulders of giants. So that means you're having a mentor or a coach or someone to help you attain that level of success that you want to attain. And so what happens is that even if you're a dwarf, and you stand on the shoulders of giants, automatically you start operating in the same realm. Do you understand it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is logic. And so when you find someone who has already gone ahead of you, doing extremely well in that particular field, and then letting them help you, usher you into that level of expertise. You tend to be rubbing, as it were, shoulders with them, and then also you tend to be learning certain things from them that will help you be a better version of yourself.
Right.
As well.
So we've seen confidence, learning to doubt your doubts. Any other thing you want to add?
And then standing on the shoulders of giants.
Standing on the shoulders of giants. Beautiful.
That is seeking help from mentors or coaches.
Seeking help. Yes. Right. I want us to break this down. What is a doubt?
Okay. A doubt is a contradiction of the reality made by yourself. Okay?
So there's no anybody hating you.
No.
You are doubting yourself.
Exactly.
I like that.
So that is a doubt. It's something mental than what actually is. Yeah, that's what a doubt is.
Awesome. No problem. Let us run into, I think, one of my favorite parts of who is a mentalist?
Okay. A mentalist is someone who understands people's behavioral patterns and knows how to use it, to their advantage. And so in this case, we are talking about someone who understands pseudo-psychology. Pseudo-psychology happens in this way. When you misdirect someone to believe something else while you're trying to get them to choose another option, which you intended them to, that is pseudo-psychology.
Give me an example.
Okay. And so in this case, you're doing something like, so there are 3 doors open, right? So door 1, 2, and 3. And so based on my suggestions to you, I closed door 1. And then I closed door 3. What is the option left?
Door 2.
Door 2. You have no choice. But then in this case, I make you believe there are 3 options. But then I've actually closed door 1 and door 3. So there's no other option for you than to choose door 2.
I was studying something a couple of years ago
Right.
about price anchoring.
Yeah.
Right. And that is psychology in business.
Yes.
And I would like us to go there
Okay.
a bit. Right. Where we see Apple deliver 3 products, but they actually intend on selling one.
Yes.
Right. So they give you one that is $1,000,
Yes.
one that is $500, and one that is $800.
Yes.
And you feel like the 1,000 is maybe too much, and this is too little. So it's not good enough. So they anchor you, and you think that this is a choice. I want us to go into that a bit more.
Exactly.
Which aspects of our life can we find? You said it's called pseudo
Pseudo-psychology.
psychology. Okay. What aspects of our lives can we find pseudo psychology, and how can it benefit us?
Pseudo-psychology happens this way, even when we're kids, right? Sometimes your parent is going to ask you a simple question like, who took the candy? Okay, who took the candy? And so the parent is going to be like, maybe you had 3 siblings. No, there are 3 of you, 3 kids. And so the mother is going to be like, oh, I asked Ajua, she said she's not the one. I asked Kojo, he said he didn't take it. So
it must be you.
It must be you. Okay, so in that case, it's more like the price anchoring. So in this case, you are making the person believe that they have options. Okay, and now you make them aware that you are aware of the options that they think that they have, and then now you cancel those options out, that they have no option than to choose the last one. Do you understand?
I love this. This is a skill that I really want to explore.
Yes.
Let's look at this. Right. Behavioral science.
Yes.
Reading people. Some of these topics almost seem mystical, and there's no science to it. You can't read me. I'm the odd one out. I'm the exception. I'm sure you come across that a lot.
Yes.
Right. Take us through it. What is behavioral science? Is it the same as reading people? Is it the same thing? What exactly it is? Is it? And also tell me what it means and what it can be used for.
Yes, it is reading people. But then what we can't do is read people's minds.
Right.
Human beings don't have that tendency of reading another person's mind unless they are psychic. Okay. So research has proven that our accuracy in reading people's behavioral patterns is 54%. Only.
54. That's
relatively low.
No. But if it was a 50-50 chance, out of ones, you have a likelihood of getting it above half, which is, if I told you there's a 52% chance of you're walking out that door and getting $1 million and not, I think there's a chance.
But then it's incumbent upon certain things that I'll be mentioning right now.
Right.
And so if you don't have in-depth understanding of the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, you are going to miss certain signals.
Okay. So before we go on, right, so that I don't cut you off, take us through what the subconscious mind is, what the conscious mind is, and then we come back to reading people.
Okay. So the human mind is divided in 2. There's the conscious mind and there's the subconscious mind. And so the conscious mind basically controls whatever you're doing in current time. Okay. So you penning this thing down, your decision to pen it down is from your conscious mind.
Conscious mind.
Okay. Right. But then another thing from your subconscious mind is you supporting your chin. Okay? It wasn't conscious. Yes. Now I've spoken about it. Now you're aware.
I'm aware
You
now.
get it. So anything you are aware of in current time is from your conscious mind. And anything you're not aware of is from your subconscious mind. And so how you detect if someone isn't being actually honest with you is
actually the things they are not conscious.
Exactly. And so the thing is this, it's so unfair, but then the subconscious mind controls 95% of the human mind.
95%?
A whopping 95% of the human mind.
Wow.
And your conscious mind that you are able to control only controls just 5% of your mind.
That is...
I'm blowing, huh?
That's mind-blowing.
Exactly.
So we are walking around as human beings, and 95% of our decisions are unconscious.
Yes. And so the subconscious mind is actually made up of several elements. One of them is called schemata. Okay, so schemata is basically all the compilations of your experiences. Okay, so the smell, the touch, every single thing that you experienced, growing up. And all those things put together form the schemata. Okay, so there can be negative schemata and then positive schemata.
Right.
Maybe when you were young, mommy told you, don't touch that flaming thing. You said, nah, I'll try and touch it. So now you touch it and then you get burned. Negative schemata registered. Next time you see fire, nobody will tell you to not touch it.
Like
exactly. And so that is your schemata. There's another thing called cognition. Cognition is also a compilation of your decisions, okay, and your rationale. So in this case, cognition is separated in several forms. And so that particular scientific theory is formulated by Piaget, okay? So Piaget comes up with this particular theory that between the ages of 0 to 5, okay, there are certain decisions that you're likely to make based on your age. And then from 5 to, say, 9 years old, there are certain decisions that you can make. And then when you're an adolescent or you're an infant or when you're a teenager or a young adult or an oldie, right? There are certain decisions that you're likely to make. And those ones are called the cognition. There's also another thing that happened very, very early in life. And sometimes it can go on, for several years after one has been born. And that is called imprinting. So imprinting is basically how you register your emotion to another person. I said to, I didn't say with. Okay, so in this case, you're looking at a baby being born and then having a bonding with the mother. Okay, so that process is called imprinting. Okay, the baby is printing their emotion on the mother.
Right.
Exactly. And in this case, say you are in love, okay, you're feeling the excitement and the butterflies in your tummy. You're also imprinting on your partner. Do you understand how this works now?
I understand.
So we are talking about the love hormone, we are talking about the excitement, we are talking about the energy.
And it can be transferred. And
exactly.
imprinted.
And so that is oxytocin and then adrenaline at work. So you're looking at adrenaline, we're looking at oxytocin.
So it makes me understand that energy in a room can be contagious.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a conscious way to go about it.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. And so there's a chemical in the, especially the male species, okay, it's called the pheromone. So pheromone happens this way. When you're extremely confident, okay, or you desire something or someone, that chemical leaves your body to the thing or person. And it's called the pheromone.
Go on.
Should I go deeper?
Go deeper. Because there's somebody watching that probably is in love with a girl that is trying to shoot some pheromones across. So let me hear you. Yeah.
And so most of the time, when pheromone leaves the male, system into towards a female system, what happens is that the female system is going to be receiving it as a positive energy. Do you understand? And so then before you know it, the female is going to start feeling like, wait, is this guy actually attracted to me or something? Okay, that is pheromone at work because she's receiving the signal. And most of the time, pheromone is going to just leave your body when you're confident or when you're setting what you want, and then there's a chemical transmission.
Interesting.
Yeah.
With imprinting, can we imprint trust? Like I'm going on a business deal and I feel like this Chinese investor or XYZ should trust me. I read somewhere that certain things that I've been using myself, like firm handshakes, looking into the person's eyes, mentioning the person's name, stuff like that. Could you go into a bit of that? Let me pen down so that, because I have some deals to close very soon.
Okay, so what's your question again?
Okay, so my question is that I understand certain emotions can be transferred, right? We attacked pheromones. We looked at the bonding chemical with the mom and the child, right? And I want us to go into the business field.
Okay.
I'm meeting an investor. Somebody wants to invest $1 million into my business. How do I bring the barriers of mistrust, because the person doesn't know me, down, right? And I'm telling you that I read personally somewhere that I shake the person's hand and then the person trusts me more. It's better to, give somebody eye contact when you're making a business deal. So what are some of these things? Well, how true is that? And what are some of the techniques you can give me as an entrepreneur to build trust?
Okay. So in a business environment here, color psychology plays a major role. Your choice of color when you dress up. Okay. And so in this case, you're looking at a corporate environment. That's why you see people doing a lot of blues or shades of blue. Blue builds trust very, very easy.
Blue is actually my color for 2026.
Interesting. Yeah, so when you're wearing shades of blue or any dark shade, but then with a direct contrast, like white or lighter version of blue, okay, to blend, with the colors, it creates a lot of trust. Don't wear too bright colors. They won't take you seriously. Don't wear too dark colors. They will think you have something to hide. Yeah, so a healthy blend will be shades of blue and then anything in between. So just like the green you're wearing is perfect for negotiation.
came from a very productive negotiation this morning. So I think to give thanks to the colors.
And then like coffee browns, magentas, and things like that. And so you're looking at those kind of shades. And so color psychology plays a major role. And then also your body language, right? You don't just go straight into trying to create a nice guy impression. Okay, your impression is really important, and most of the time, it takes just between 7 seconds to 10 seconds to create an impression.
Okay, 7 seconds to 10 seconds.
7 seconds to 10 seconds to create an impression.
So
nothing more. That first few seconds, even before you open your mouth. So I know this, that human beings don't communicate words; we communicate frequencies. Right. So right when the person is approaching you, you've already had an impression of the person, even before they open their mouth. But then when they open their mouth, it's going to be like a sales pitch. Then that is when they maintain the already created impression. Right. So if it's a positive impression and then you open your mouth and start speaking, then fine, you maintain it.
I'm approaching a client.
Right.
I'm approaching somebody at a business mixer. I'm approaching somebody at a networking event.
Right.
Immediately the person sees me, I have 10 seconds. I have 7 to 10 seconds.
Yes.
So even coming from home, like you were saying, the colors I'm putting on, even before they even see me, the smell, the perfume.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This is
yes.
I love this.
If you pay attention, you go to any mall, okay, that has a lot of people entering, okay, or using the space, you realize that they have some good smell, okay? Let me not go too far. We are Ghanaian, so I'll say Accra Mall. You enter Accra Mall, it's almost like they're baking in the whole mall. You're going to smell food everywhere. Yeah. People love the smell of food or bakery, right? It creates a good impression. It brings back positive schemata. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So it makes them want to stick in the area. Sometimes you have nothing really to do, but you just want to be around.
People just want to go to the mall.
Exactly.
I did. I was reading a bit on behavioral psychology and business, right?
Yes.
And I came across this case study on McDonald's.
Right.
And they said McDonald's, the colors for McDonald's are red and yellow.
Yeah.
And they do not pick those two colors just because. They pick the red because I think it infuses hunger. It makes people feel hungry, and the yellow because it makes people want to spend or feel comfortable. Yes. I've been mixing up because I read this like 4 years ago. Right. And I also read that you go to restaurants, the reason why they play calm music in restaurants is because the part of the brain that causes pain or causes a rejection when you're spending money is actually less active when there's calm music playing. Right. So when you're Pisky and they're playing the keyboard and all those things, they know what they are doing.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So that comes back to the point where human beings don't communicate words, we communicate frequencies. I didn't say we speak, we communicate. Most parts of communication is done non-verbally, okay? Or they come in something called subliminal messaging, okay? So the subliminal messaging goes straight into your subconscious. So, let
me ask you a question before we even go on.
Right.
What subliminal messages have I given you? You've seen me do this. You've seen me do this. You've seen me be here. Right. We've been talking for about 20 to 25 minutes.
Right.
What kind of messages have I given you?
Okay. So you have a lot of leadership tendencies. Okay. So I think last time I mentioned a little bit, but today let's see. Some of them might be a little too personal for the podcast, but
let's go on.
But yeah, you have a lot of leadership tendencies, and you have this warmth that emanates. And so sometimes when you are in a room, most of the time you're going to be delegated with leadership roles like quite easily. People tend to trust you, they fuse into your aura quite easily, and the trust doesn't just work with men, it works with women as well. And so sometimes you might find yourself in situations where, it might be too compromising because then the ladies especially might misinterpret that as, a type of energy that they actually want to have an intimate relationship with.
Right.
And so please confirm if you're not having difficulties with ladies approaching you a lot.
Next. Yeah, but I'll attest to what you're saying in regards to sometimes just we are in a room and just want to hide and even be at the back. Yes. But they always find out fishing you out and say, could you do this and could you do that? So that is that. I actually also like to be nice
Right.
to everybody.
Right.
It has its good advantages and it has its disadvantages sometimes. Where you might be painted as let's move on. Next.
Right.
Next, what else have I communicated to you per my body language?
Okay. Another thing is you have a sweet taste. Okay, sweet taste. What that means is that your taste of fashion, choice of color, and things like that. It's not just today. Okay. I think this is the second time I'm meeting you in person. Yeah, and I can tell that so far. Obviously, you smell good. For those that don't know and are watching, he smells perfect. Okay, and that is actually that is actually a good trait to have, and it fuses into building trust quite early. I told you this thing about smell. I told you about appearance and things like that. And then you also take time in the grooming bit, right? And so in this case, you're the kind of person that, too personal. Too personal.
Thank you.
But then
I should have taken you to the first warning.
Right.
Let's go on.
Right.
Okay, so it's okay with my analysis.
That's
fine. One of the skills that I would love as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, and I think maybe everybody watching, is if I could look at somebody and tell this guy is just lying to me. Right? Because I've gone to many business deals, many contracts, many trusting people, many giving people stuff. And believed what they told me just because of what they said. Oh, actually, bro, let's put this here. Trust me, you get us back. You do this. Oh, people have said so many things to you or to me that if I could have told they were lying to me, it would have probably put situations in a much better place. Prince, can you read people? Can you tell when people are lying? And how easy is it?
Okay. So in most cases, you can. In most cases, you can. When you have certain level of knowledge, okay, in reading body language. And then the thing is that to an average person, they cannot. Okay. Or in most cases, they might think they can, but then actually they cannot. The reason that is because lie detection in itself, okay, doesn't happen with cues. It happens with patterns. Okay?
Oh.
It doesn't happen with cues. So it's not like, even though fairly frequently you might see certain things about the person, like their eye contact or where they are looking per time, which some scientists might argue that, okay, maybe when you look to your top right, it means that you're trying to remember a visual. When you look at your top down, right down, it means that you're trying to remember an audio. But then when you look to your left, it means that you are forming it or you're imagining.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So to the left side, anything has got to do with a lie. So when it's up, you're trying to, form a visual. And then when it's down, it means that you're trying to form, a saying or an audio. And then to your right, it means that it's positive. And so even though in some situations that can point out as, okay, this person is lying, but then those are not sure ways. Okay. So lie detection can't be done based on cues. It can rather be done based on patterns.
Right.
And that is why when they're using a lie detector on you, they're going to tell you to tell a lie first and then tell a truth so that they can measure
They can see the pattern.
your patterns. Exactly.
Okay, I never knew why they did that.
Yeah, using the oscilloscope. So,
Okay, that's very. So what single behavior should people rely on when they're trying to find out if somebody is lying? I know you're giving some angles to look at, but what single behavior is, let's say, 55 or half a percentage of the time could give somebody away when they're lying to you?
Okay, 54% actually. So one thing that you can look out for is incongruence between body and words. Okay, so incongruence between body and words actually means that sometimes, they will be looking at you all right. And then you're going to ask a question. They will say yes, but then they're shaking their head. Or they say no, but then they're nodding. Okay, so that contrast, okay, can be a pointer to when someone is actually not really being honest with you. And another thing can be sweaty palms, the shaking and all of that. Another thing can be in the modulation of the voice. Okay, and so most of the time when they are hitting a higher note, okay, when you know the person to be someone who is like very firm spoken, like yourself, and then all of a sudden you ask the question and then you're speaking in hard. Okay, it means that there's a disruption in your patterns. Okay, when there's tension, most of the time you're not conscious. Don't forget about the subliminal messaging and the schemata. Okay, so in this case, you are giving cues from yourself that is telling me that there might be a tendency that you're actually not being honest about. Exactly.
And with these skills, how does it affect your relationship with your friends and people? Because I'm sure people already know you are like this. So how does it affect that?
Well, except for people who are really, really, really close and actually I've disclosed to. And the total strangers that have attended my sessions or I've read, a few times, and then they're like, this guy is weird. So most of the time, the review I get at first-hand first-hand review I get most of the time is, bro, you're weird. And I'll be like, no, you can actually do it yourself. Like, you can do this. I'm like, no, Prince, it's not normal. Right.
So let's talk a bit about research.
Right.
You've given us methods, you've given us ways, you've given us signals, but what is research actually saying? Now, is this like science behavior or is this prophetic? Or let's talk about that a bit.
Okay, so in terms of research, it's going to fall within the types of intelligence that I mentioned, right? There are people with existential intelligence. They question everything and anything. Okay, and there are people with emotional intelligence. There are people with intrapersonal intelligence, and there are people with interpersonal intelligence. And so in my case, I fall within the ones that I mentioned. Okay. I also have a little bit of musical intelligence because I can sing, I can play instruments, and
what instruments do you play?
I play drums.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I can do the sheet music and things like that. And so so in this case, you're looking at someone who understands a little bit of all these things I mentioned, right? Except for the mathematical intelligence, though, because I hate numbers.
Bro, you can't.
Right.
Yeah. Even if it's 3 + 3, I'll take my calculator and punch it in. I'm not good at numbers myself.
Right.
But sometimes I wonder if it was just because I didn't pay extra attention to it in school, or that is just the way I am.
Well, it can be because of the type of intelligence that you have. There are people with spatial intelligence as well. They are good with shapes and sizes and physical bodies. And so such individuals might go into geography or do things related to maps and architecture, things like that, right? Yeah, or might go into invention and things like that because they have to do with physical sizes and spaces. Yeah.
Does anything affect the way you interpret body languages and behavioral signals?
Yes. Culture. Yeah, and environment. So especially like that certain parts of Asia that, you see, I mentioned earlier that when incongruence between body and words, right? And so in this case, the person is saying yes, and then they are shaking their head. Actually, when you go to those parts of Asia, when they say yes and they're shaking their head, it's actually a yes. So this is their yes, and this is their no.
Right.
Yeah. And so in this case, it means that there's a little cultural difference, you understand, and environmental factors that are contributing into the type of body language. But then there are certain universal ones like expression of disgust. Okay. So when you are being asked a question and, you're like, oh, what do you think about my phone? Or what do you think about my dressing? Oh, you look really good.
But then your face is giving
Exactly. Exactly. So your nostril area, actually goes up. Sometimes you're revealing your upper teeth. It means that, the person's attention is not with you. And they're actually not being honest about something. Yeah.
Let me push you a bit in the corner.
Right.
I'm in a room with a friend. And he's telling me a story. Maybe I'll give the person 100,000 CDs. Keep for me. I'm back in a week. I'm back in the next week. The person is giving me a story. What are some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things I can look at to know if the person is lying to me? Maybe some eyebrow raises, the lips shaking. You talk about sweaty palms and all that. I want a step. How do I know somebody is lying to me?
Okay. So in this case, this is your friend, right? You already have an established relationship. I don't know for how many years. Can you give me context?
10 years.
10 years of friendship. How old is the person, at least?
By my age.
Your age? Okay. I don't know your age, but let me say late 20s. Right. Okay. So you're looking at someone late 20s, 10 years of friendship. And so there's a lot of imprinting that's been done already. And the stages of cognition, don't forget, from Piaget's that I mentioned earlier. And so in this case, you're looking at someone who is probably going to be firm in delivering the message to you. And so when there are a lot of flattenings in their tonation, then they are actually not being honest about something, or they're hiding something. And so let me give you an example. So you ask the question, bro, where's my money? You said you're going to pay me, a week time, and then I'm back in a week, and you're not, like, my money's not ready. And then you're going to go like, oh yeah, like I said I was going to pay your money like next week, but you see,
the tonation
exactly. So that one flattens. Right when it flattens a lot, you know that no, someone is not being honest with me. Or when they are the modulation. I mentioned modulation earlier. When there's a rise and fall, normally that's how it should go. Like there's a particular frequency that you're already used to. Let me say his name is Kofi. You know Kofi speak this kind of way, but then he's speaking and it's like he's experiencing hiccups and things like that. Okay, there are breakages in the voice. And sometimes they can't maintain eye contact.
Right.
Eye contact seems to be like one of the best ways to know someone, because when they are not being honest with you, they're looking into your face. And so it brings me to this.
If they are not being honest, they look into your face.
No.
If they are being honest.
Let me let you understand this.
Okay.
So we don't get it twisted. There are some people also, when they're lying to you, they can look into your face, brother.
And lie
a confident lie. So in this case, you're looking at, is the person logical or is the person emotional? Okay, so these are the two types of personalities I'm talking about. And so if the person is logical, they already know that you might be able to tell they are lying to you. And such a logical person is going to now make a conscious effort, okay, into telling you an emotional story. Do you understand where this is going? So normally, this person is very straightforward. Okay, they deliver this way and things like that. But then it gets to that particular situation and they're trying to get in tune with your emotions.
Right.
So they are switching from their usual logical self to the emotional bit. Then they're lying. Or sometimes if the person is very emotional and then, or they speak from an emotional standpoint, and then you ask them a question and they're leaning more towards the logical side, you know that someone is probably hiding something. Yeah.
I see. Before I ask this question, guys, please, and please again, take a second and subscribe. If you've made it this far, we're trying to get to 5K. This is our road to 5K. So please subscribe. Very, very important. Prince.
Yes.
You've been doing this for a while.
Right.
Boys and girls, who they lie past? Who do you think is a much better liar? Men or ladies?
The truth is that they both lie, but then men are often caught.
So the ladies are much better at
Trust
lying.
me, both genders. But then since there are more women than men, you can say the majority carries the vote. And so,
He's trying to give the political answer.
honestly. But then the truth is this, that women, inside of every woman is a queen and a manipulator. Inside of every man is a king, a fool, and a boy.
Oh, that what you just said opens a big door of conversation. But I think that's for another time.
Yeah.
It brings out some books I've read. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
In every woman is a queen.
Yeah. Inside of every woman, there's a queen and a manipulator. And inside of every man, there is a king
and a fool,
and a boy.
Right.
Yes.
A woman that can bring out the fool in a man, and a woman that can bring it out the boy in the man.
Exactly.
Can rule the man.
Yes.
Robert Greene said something like that. I think in The Art of Seduction.
Right.
He was talking about was it Cleopatra? I don't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the whole different conversation, right? But yes. That's a conversation we want to discuss how women can rule the world. That's not a conversation for today.
Right.
But I believe women are one of the most powerful species that God has ever created. So anyway, but I like that. So let's go into that. Inside a man, there's a king.
Yeah.
And a boy.
Yeah.
And a fool. And inside there's a man, there's a manipulator.
Yeah.
Right. So let's look at this. Okay, you mentioned something interesting a bit earlier on about narcissistic behavior and certain behavioral tendencies, right? Certain bad behavioral tendencies like manipulation, stuff like that. How do you block yourself from certain things like that? Or how do you know? Because it also falls in the realm of lies. How do you know if I'm being manipulated?
Okay. So before you break a rule, you need to know the rule before you break it. Do you understand?
Exactly.
And so in this case, it means that if you're falling victim to narcissism, you need to understand your personality archetype. Okay, so in this case, we are talking about the type of attachment. Okay, so there is the anxious attachment, and then there is the avoidant attachment. And so, if
I found that I just learned about that this year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so those are the types of attachment. And then there are the ones that are actually super anxious, and then there are the ones that are super avoidant. And so your viewers can actually have a read about it. But then we're going to stick with the anxious and avoidant attachment. And so in this case, you're going to find out that most of the time, people that fall victim to narcissists are people with anxious attachment styles. And so when you find out that, let me explain the anxious and avoidant attachment. So an avoidant person, let me say you have an issue with an avoidant person. Most of the time, they want to take a break. Okay? They don't want to communicate. They don't want to have any conversation with you. They just ghost you. Okay? Till a time where they are going to be feeling okay for the conversation.
So that's an anxious, avoidant attachment
style. Yeah, that's one of their traits. Okay? But then in a case where an anxious person has an issue with you, most of the time they're going to be flooding you with texts and calls. They become so restless. You understand? So the thing about narcissists is that they like to gain control over people, and most of the time project their insecurities on you without you knowing. And so in this case, there are several types of narcissists, but then I'm going to be sticking with a general spectrum in that regard. And so now you're looking at someone who is going to make you believe you're special right from the onset, going to be love bombing you and things like that, just to win your trust and make you imprint. And right when you imprint, then they're going to take off the mask and show you their true colors.
That's crazy.
Exactly. So in this case, someone who has an anxious attachment style, like a typical anxious attachment style, might not notice this when it starts. And so before they realize, they're already deep into it. And so in this case, how you can shield yourself from a narcissist is healing your traumas, healing from your traumas. Do you understand? And so in this case, you know that growing up, there were certain experiences that you had that were negative, okay?
Right.
That when you try and remember or even experience similar situations right now, based on negative schemata, you feel heartbroken, right? And then things like that. So when you learn how to break free from your already existing traumas, okay? When you get to meet this kind of person who is trying to manipulate you, since you were at first a victim of manipulation and you've healed from it, you can tell from the patterns.
Exactly.
So human beings are fluid, and I told you we don't communicate words, we communicate frequencies, and we are creatures of patterns. If they've done it before, they're likely to do it again.
Right.
And so in this case, you are likely to recognize the patterns of a narcissist when it's about to happen. And then you know how to better respond to such situations. And so in a case where you find you are being manipulated and then you want to break free from it, one of the conscious ways or practical ways to go about it is have a conversation with a person, okay? And so something like, maybe the person spoke to you in a particular way you didn't like, or they're trying to control your life, okay? So you're going to be like, Nana, I think this has been happening for a couple of times, and I'm not happy with it. I would prefer you treat me this way rather than this way. Because honestly, if it happens again, I am going to disappear from the equation. And one thing narcissists don't like to do is to lose control. And so sometimes they are going to try and, reset and then go back to the usual, love bombing and things like that till they get you again. And trust me, they are not going to break free from the cycle. And it's called spin cycling in psychology, where they take you from the point A, where they were love bombing you, to point B, where you are not happy with. And then when you complain about it, or when they see they're losing grip, they go back to point A, and then it's a spin cycle.
Oh, he has changed. Oh, she has changed.
Exactly.
But then I see.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say you are this narcissist in this equation. You've been seeing this kind of behavioral traits that you feel like, bro, I need to change.
Right.
What can you do to get yourself from being so narcissistic?
Sometimes narcissism can be inherent. Okay? It can be inherent. And in most cases, you can't really get rid of it. Okay? So I would recommend this book, The Spirit-Controlled Temperament, okay, by Tim LaHaye. When you read that book, it's going to show you what to do if you have more choleric tendencies. Do you understand? The need to be in control or manipulate people. Do you get it? And then that is going to help you break free from it. And some of the things that he points out is, honestly, I'm a Christian, so that would be the best recommendation for you. God, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That's it. Holy Spirit, please help me. And then, read spiritual books, in relation to, the kind of tendencies that you have. Because narcissism is basically a projection of your insecurities on other people. You get it? So when you find bullies, you find people who are blatantly disrespecting others and things like that, whether publicly or privately, they don't care. Okay, and that's a tendency that you actually need to break free from. And in that case, what do you need to do? You need to learn traits to boycott what you already have. Do you get it? And in that case, it means that you need to learn certain things that are actually positive so that it can negate what you already have.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. It's been an interesting session.
Right.
It's been an interesting session. Do you have anything you like to add for what we've been studying? Anything you want to say? Any maybe topic that you feel like this is something good, a gift you want to give my subscribers? This as we wrap up.
Okay, my gift to your subscribers will be this, that you need to learn to identify your superpower. Okay? You might not pay attention to that right from the onset, but it is something very, very necessary. And you need to understand your personality traits, because in this case, we're talking about the anxious attachment style. We're talking about a narcissist and falling victim to such a person. If you don't truly understand yourself and the kind of personality that you are, it's going to happen again and again and again. And that's the reason your relationships are failing. That's the reason you're failing at your job. That's even probably why you're not even getting a job in the first place, because then you get anxious and then you get impatient and then you start freaking out. Okay? So in this case, it's going to inspire confidence and it's going to make you a high-value person, whether a man or woman. So that's what I have for your subscribers.
Charlie. Guys, like I promised, another very educative and empowering podcast. You guys are my elevators. We keep bringing you the best episodes and the best people to speak to you. Till we catch you again, same time next week. Cheers. This has been Empower and Elevate.